The Bible says, when it's referring to the Antichrist, it says it's the number of man, 666. And it says, when you actually look that up, it says it's the number of mankind. And this is the first time in the world's history that mankind is moving as one. We have a global movement of control, a global movement of one world currency, one world government. And so you could look and say in the past there's been, societies, everybody's always thought it was the end and it's the end times. But I want to just say, think about that. This is the first time in the history of the world that mankind is moving as one. And I think when mankind moves as one in evil, it brings about a principality, like a demonic stronghold. That the devil, I believe, is just a vapor of deception. Just that, nothing. But he brings in deception. And when he brings in deception, he feeds off of the people he deceives. That's why I believe that the spirit of the world is really mankind feeding it himself. And as we get focused on evil, focused on wrong, focused on problems, it just feeds off of us and creates a principality of mankind moving as one. So we could look and say, well, where's the good? And I think the Bible talks about in the end times, it says, and those that know their God will be mighty and do great exploits. I'm looking at the persecution of religion. And you can say, well, it's bad. Any persecution, I guess, is bad. But the good side of what's going to come out of that is it's going to bring out genuine faith. People that actually know their God and are mighty and will do great exploits. And they're not focused on feeding on the drama, feeding on the spirit of the world, but living beyond that, living in the love of God, living in the love of the Spirit that comes about through a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, through Jesus Christ. And I think as we live not in the religion of that, or the knowledge of that, but in the what I would call a romantic flow, or a romantic outflow of God in and around and through our lives, then we have what in the Greek word in the Bible talks about, which arrived in Acts, the word koinonia, fellowship, caring, sharing, intimacy, intercourse. All those words applied to a community of people, which is the true church. Because bear in mind, in the Bible, the true church was never a location. It was called the way. And the believers were called the way because it was a way. It wasn't the name of them. It was a statement of who they are, a way. And when you are walking in a loving relationship, a romantic expression of the Spirit of God in your life, it is freedom. It is a way. It's a way of life called freedom. Freedom in the Spirit of God, freedom. And people say, well, I like to say the industry of church has made an industry of sin. They camp out at the cross of Jesus Christ and they market sin, do it or don't do it. But when there's love, you don't have to tell me what to do. When there's love, I know what's best. When there's love, and I love God, if I love a woman, I do what I know is best for her, not for my own benefits. She doesn't have to tell me don't cheat with other women. I don't want to cheat with other women because there's a way, and that way is called love. And I think that's the answer to the world. The community of God, the community of like-minded people of koinonia, the Greek word for it, koinonia. And if you look in the New Testament, everywhere after Acts, where you have words like caring, sharing, fellowship, intercourse, giving, it's all the Greek word koinonia. And of course, the Bible translators can't translate that, the spirit of it. How do you put a spirit into words? How do you put the passion of what you feel for a woman into words? If you're able to, then you probably don't have feelings for her. We can put aspects of her into words, but how do you put the entirety of someone that you love into words? Maybe we just can't. Maybe we're not supposed to. And that's what's called a romantic expression of love. And I believe that's a type of what God is with us. That when we see God, we understand the flow of life through Him that's coming through us. And we're saying, wow, God, wow, you bring life to me. You bring life to the dead places. You bring freedom to the captives. Where I was a slave to religious sin, I'm now free of it. And I don't even want to do those things because I realize that in my love, outflow of love between God and I don't need it. I don't need it. So don't focus on the fact that the world's falling apart. Why don't you just enjoy the fact that God's put his Spirit in and around and through your life? And when we surrender to that and we let go of our control, we let go of our doctrines of Bible and I read it better than you. Yeah, the Bible's a great book, but the Bible is a love letter. It's an expression. The spirit of that expression needs to be entered. We enter it. We don't learn it. You can't learn love. You enter love, and love enters you. Today I invite you, as I've done, to let love enter you and enter love by saying, Jesus. For me, it was a surrender. Jesus, I surrender to you. Let that love come and just fill me and wash through my life. Then I don't have to worry about today, tomorrow, or the next day. Because no matter what happens, love will carry you through. God bless you. I'm Scott Russell.